U.S. senators burning the midnight oil, but ultimately failing to pass a last-second deal to avoid a government shutdown. Instead, it's expected that many non-essential federal services will begin closing over the coming days. The Senate was back in action today, holding a rare emergency weekend session with the goal of reopening the government. But it took just minutes for the blame game to begin.
Here we are, day one of the Senate Democrats' government shutdown.
Negotiating with this White House is like negotiating with Jell-O. It's next to impossible.
As quickly as those accusations began, it also didn't take long for the implications of the shutdown to start appearing. Closed signs were spotted at a national park in Georgia and outside the famous Ford's Theater in Washington. So what's next? Hundreds of thousands of additional non-essential federal employees could be placed on furlough as early as Monday. Those in the military will stay on the job, but their paychecks could stop coming if the shutdown drags into February. The key sticking point in negotiations remains the fate of the 800,000 immigrants who were brought to the U.S. illegally as children. Democrats insist any funding bill must include protection for the so-called Dreamers. But the White House wants to see a clean funding bill passed before immigration issues are dealt with.
We were making progress. We're anxious to resume those conversations, but we're not going to be held hostage and let our troops be held hostage over this. When they reopen the government, we will continue the discussions.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
The shutdown comes a year to the day Donald Trump was sworn in as president. Democrats insist the problem is coming from the White House, not the Senate floor.
The breakdown of compromise is poisoning this Congress, and it all springs from President Trump. He's turned blowing up bipartisan agreements into an art form.
Trump remained behind closed doors today, but he couldn't resist tweeting about the shutdown, writing, "This is the one-year anniversary of my presidency, and the Democrats wanted to give me a nice present. Hashtag Democrat shutdown." The last government shutdown happened under Obama's watch back in 2013. But this is the first time in modern political history that it has happened when one party controlled both Congress and the White House.